This is me showing how this interesting gentleman is beating the YouTube algorithm. Doug DeMuro makes videos about cars. He's a car geek, but so many other people do that. So why is he king of the car industry on YouTube? I did my homework and found out there are 3 reasons why. The first Doug secret is he shows a side of a car that the viewer has not seen before. You see, most traditional car content before Doug focused on the supposedly important stuff. Speed, power, engine, looks, comfort. These are the typical focuses of car content. And car content creators will compete with each other on who delivers this information in the best way. It's like a bunch of hyenas chasing the same piece of meat, and only one comes out on top. So Doug had the choice to join the party and start competing for that piece of meat, or do something else. This is important to understand because it's the state of almost every niche on YouTube. What Doug geniusly did is flip the script and focus on the non-important features of a car. By doing this, he now did not have to compete. Essentially, he had created a new piece of meat and he had it all to himself. This was no accident. Pay close attention to what Doug says in this video from 2014.
Now you already know that it's comfortable and it handles well and it's fast, so I've decided to go over some of the more ridiculous features that you might not know this car has.
This clip summarizes Doug's YouTube success. It reveals a lot about Doug's wisdom. He was sharp enough to know viewers already were exposed to the usual features of cars and that he needed to bring something different to the table. A Mercedes S-Class is the pinnacle of Mercedes comfort and luxury, and every car fan knows that. Almost everybody knows that. Every car reviewer will just harp on how comfortable and luxurious it is. So look at what Doug highlights when he had the opportunity to film a Mercedes S-Class for a day.
Every single light in this car is an LED. Just how easy it is to find the seatbelt once you've opened the door.
He's fully aware of his audience, what they're exposed to, and what it will take for him to become relevant. So he'll highlight things like the seatbelt. Genius. The reason this is genius is because it now opens an untapped curiosity of the typical car fan. A viewer might like a certain car, but by watching Doug's video, the viewer is going to learn something new about the car. Doug's famous for finding these weird quirks in cars, and it's what makes him stand out from the crowd of other content creators. He has never abandoned this strategy once he realized that it worked. As a content creator yourself, you have to apply this knowledge to your own niche and audience. You have to get out of your own head and get in your audience's shoes. You have to see what they're seeing. Ask this question: what can I offer to my viewers that they are not already receiving? Then give it to them. This is not easy to do, but it's the main driver of Doug's success, and therefore it could be the main driver of your success. The second Doug secret is he's genuine. In a world full of people scared to have an opinion, maybe because they don't even have one and are just regurgitating somebody else's, Doug gives his genuine thoughts about a car and doesn't hold back. He isn't afraid to criticize any car despite the public opinion about it.
And that makes this the single most overpriced car in the entire car industry, period.
To the viewer, this comes across as Doug being an authority. Quite frankly, the guy is an authority when it comes to cars because he's been involved with cars his whole life. Even his first job was with Porsche as a vehicle allocation manager, and he's been writing about cars for the last 10 years or something. I'm mentioning this because being an authority in a specific field is not something you can fake because people can sniff it from a mile away. It's much easier and more worth your time to just become qualified instead of playing that faking game. Due to Doug being genuine, the viewer begins to trust his opinion. Because the viewer thinks of Doug as an authority, the viewer also begins to value Doug's opinion. This is important in the car industry because some content creators are afraid to give their real opinion because the brand may not give them press cars in the future. But sticking to your gut and being honest is always the better long-term strategy in every industry, instead of being focused on the short-term ramifications of being brutally honest. You can quote me on that. The third Doug secret is he figured out what kind of content to focus on. At first, Doug started out making creative car videos. His early content focused on his owned Ferrari 360 Modena and H1 Hummer with a sprinkle of other cars. The key here is that he made several videos on the same cars, thereby limiting his overall reach. He eventually realized that making one car video for different cars provided the best results. These videos were also easier to film than overly unique videos like crushing a car with a Hummer. Once he figured out what worked, he went all in. He stayed focused, and viewers are now familiar with a typical Doug DeMuro video. Viewers know what they're getting when they're clicking, and they're left satisfied by the end of it. This means that they're going to be back for more, and it also means that the average view retention is going to be high, because nobody clicks on a Doug DeMuro video and leaves because they're getting something that they weren't expecting. This is important for the YouTube algorithm. The takeaway here is that it's okay to diversify your content in the early stages of a YouTube channel. Make different types of content to see what the viewers will fall in love with. But once you've found it, ditch everything else and go all in.